We also now know the exact wording of that message that Donald Trump sent to the Attorney General. Everybody was freaking out about it. How on earth are you contacting the Attorney General? This is an investigation. Not supposed to do that. So in a phone call 3 days after the Mar-a-Lago search, Donald Trump's lawyer told the Justice Department, and I will quote here, President Trump wants the Attorney General to know that he's been hearing from people all over the country about the raid. If there was one word to describe their mood, it's angry. The heat is building up. The pressure is building up. Whatever I can do to take the heat down, to bring the pressure down, just let me know. Wow, that's quite a message. Not quite sure what to think of that. But whatever you think, whether that was an olive branch or whether that was Donald Trump trying to unduly influence the feds, I can pretty much bet everything I've got that depends on which side of the aisle you're on in this whole story. I'm joined by Harry Litman. He is a former U.S. attorney and a former Deputy Assistant Attorney General. He's also the host of the podcast Talking Feds. And Ali Vitale is a Capitol Hill correspondent. She is the author of the brand new book, Electable: Why America Hasn't Put a Woman in the White House Yet. And it hits stores tomorrow. Welcome to both of you. Okay, legally, Harry, because of, me and the legal business that I always do, I want to ask you about this AG memo. I really honestly see this as so many other Trump moves before. You can look at it two completely different ways, but for other people, it usually sinks them. What do you see it as?
You mean the memo that Trump filed tonight? The memo from Trump?
The memo, no, this conversation, this outreach to Merrick Garland saying people are angry, my friend. It sounds like a Seinfeld episode.
He said a lawyer called someone, yeah. He said a lawyer called someone in DOJ and he called it a raid. And whatever I can do, I'm sure if it happened, and that's a big if in the terms he says, it had no impact at all. It just seemed like more of the kind of theatrics that have been his stock in trade since the search happened.
Well, it's that strange business about sounding ominous, like people are getting angry and the pressure and the heat is cooking, Mr. AG, i.e. that's your fault. And then what is it you need from me to bring the heat down? It sounds like a magnanimous overture, but other people say that it sounds like, let's do some wheeling and dealing on this.
Well, right. Certainly he's not acting to try to bring the heat down. He filed a motion today that was all polemics and just went after the DOJ for all kinds of reasons that had no basis in the law. I don't think the DOJ regards him as a partner now. You don't normally do that after you serve a search warrant on someone and make them the subject of a criminal investigation.
Well, and it's pretty fascinating how the different networks come at this, right? He's either a hero trying to save the nation, or he's the criminal trying to unduly influence an investigation. It's remarkable how Americans have decided, to interpret his moves. Yeah. Ali, congratulations.
But can I make a quick point on it? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
My quick point is just this: whatever side you're on, there's the law. That's what both sides should want. And he's got remedies under the Fourth Amendment if anyone violated his rights, if anyone violates the privilege. That's what we ought to have. That ought to be everybody's solace here, and including his partisans.
Right.
The law will run its course.
And I say in this particular move, the critics will say, well, this was just a big old, partisan raid, but my God, that would have to be a hell of a conspiracy to get all those partners in place to do it. I'm not saying it's not possible. Anything's possible. OJ could be innocent. But Ali, let me go back to you for a second. Congratulations on this book. It's perfect to talk to you tonight about this, because there is all this talk about Liz Cheney and her overtures and hints in her concession speech about Abe Lincoln failing twice and then not. And then there's this notion that she would never make it on a Republican ticket. So what are the options? Is it ever possible in the craziest of Washington, which we've all lived through, to see her evolve and maybe ally with Democrats, or maybe even be a running mate?
Look, this is a moment where someone who's a network news correspondent wishes that she could have continued writing this book in real time, because the moment that Liz Cheney said that she was going to do everything that she could to make sure that Donald Trump didn't get back into the Oval Office, I immediately had my ears perk up and think, what would it look like to have a Republican woman not just running against Donald Trump, who, for all intents and purposes, is still the standard bearer of this party, but doing so in the way that she has done through her role on the January 6th committee, leading the accountability movement against the former president. And I think when you think about Liz Cheney, she's someone who has a voting record that's more than 90% of the time with Trump. She is, just as you laid out, Ashley, someone who is a steadfast conservative, but conservative in the way that people used to mean that word, but not the way that they mean it today, which is to say conservative now means pro-Trump. It does not mean small government, limited government policies in the way that it used to when the Cheney dynasty was sort of ruling Washington. I do think, though, that if I think about it through the lens of my book, it's that voters don't punish women for losing elections. And the way that Cheney has rolled out in the immediate hours and days after losing in Wyoming is exactly what studies say women candidates should be doing as they look to their next move, which is not blaming anyone for their loss, necessarily staying on message and making sure that voters know what they stand for. And for Liz Cheney, she certainly is blaming Trump, but that's a part of her core message too. She is someone who wants to stay hyper-focused on him, hyper-focused on the election lies, and use that to leverage herself, yes, into the next version of the January 6th hearings that are coming in the next few weeks, but also into whatever comes next.
I wish you were writing this in real time, because I look at this and I think I've always heard the first, woman president's going to be a conservative, and look at her.
That could be.
And then this notion that she's somehow the Democrats' hero. It's just like, it's Alice in Wonderland all over again. Allie, congrats on the book. I'm so proud of you, and I look forward to talking to you again at some point. And Harry Litman, as always, I love your wisdom. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Allie.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.